I'm so hard to handle now, you surround. Oh yeah. Action, speak out of the words, and I'm a man of great experience. I know you got another man, but I can love you better than him. Take my hand, don't be afraid, I'm gonna prove every word I say. But I'm advertising love for free, so you can place your bets today. Those who come along and time by the dozen, ain't nothing but drugs all over. Hey, little thing, let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm so hard to handle now, you're surround. Oh yeah, so hard to handle now. Oh baby, well baby, here I am, a man on your scene. I can't give you what you want, but you got to come home with me. I forgot some good old loving and I got some going store. But when I get to throwing it on you, you got to come back for more. Once you come along and down by the dozen, that ain't nothing but 10 cents. Pretty little thing, let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm so hard to handle now, you surround. Oh yeah, so hard to handle now. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, those that come along and down by the dozen, they ain't nothing but drugs all over. Hey, little thing, let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm so hard to handle now. You oh yeah, so hard to handle now. Oh yeah, say baby, a good loving, baby, Lord, got you good loving, a good loving. Come on, yeah. taking holes and hiding things inside them. When I roll, I hope I won't forget to find them. 'Cause I've got memories and travel like gypsies in the night. I built a home and wait for someone to tear it down, then pack it up in boxes, head for the next time. 'Cause I've got memories and travel like gypsies in the night. And 1,000 times I've seen this road, 1,000 times. I've got no boots on my home, never.
What's up? What's up, babe? How you doing? All right.
Oh, excuse me.
The decision he made. Right here. Not the cars. Come on in. How are you? Doggy? You didn't bring your doggy? No. Sure. I didn't even think about that. Good morning, how you doing, sir?
All right.
Outstanding, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
You're recording?
Yep.
He makes me right. You know me.
Make some noise! We'll make your transportation, I appreciate it. AIT, if you are a student,
I thought you were gone already.
No, I'm still here.
military education, I want y'all to blow the roof off of this place right now. Make me some noise! Y'all making confidence in the battalion's proud with this run. And we will catch y'all a little bit later when the 392 comes in.
Thank you.
How far down you guys walk? It's your boy, ain't it? It's your boy.
Oh, you can drink that.
She's so tiny. He all the way up there. He's like, you so pretty. Can I take you home?
Keep that same energy.
Get the goddamn camera. You got some camera inside, how you feeling? What's going on with you?
You know, doing what I do, man.
All right, I see you live.
Gotta capture all events, bro.
Yeah.
Took my damn name.
I'm gonna ask a few months. It's not gonna be like just like. Don't worry, it's not gonna be just here.
No, you told me. So go over there. Well, I can't even make it there. I'm sorry. Then you got your bag. Hey, record this dude, because he just want to go through it. And then with the hat, dude, you run with the hat. Yeah. Like, no, don't play, don't play. I'm going to tell you, if you're running, you're going to want a hat. You're going to want to back to the third hat.
Good morning, young lady.
Morning, how you doing?
Come on, get this shirt.
All right.
This is Mr. D. No, this is Mr. Park.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, Mr. D, I was right.
How you doing? Congratulations yesterday.
Yes, thank you. It's my kid.
Okay. No, I'm recording, so. Got too late now. I ain't stopped the camera. That's your twin?
Yeah, one of them my oldest son.
Yeah, okay.
One of my little enemies.
Huh?
They enemies, but they get all dirty.
I don't think I need my headphones. I'm gonna
That's just started, man.
Father, we're thankful today that we can run. We're thankful that we can run freedom. We're thankful that we can run for those who have paid sacrifices for that freedom. We ask that you help us today to remember on purpose, and to honor those who have fallen, to say thank you to all who have served, especially to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Father, we thank you for their families and their team around them. We ask that you will flood their memories with good things, that they may be able to know that their loved one is not forgotten. So thank you for the day that we can run in freedom. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
And now to introduce the U.S. Army Drill Team, Private First Class Colton Steyer of the Old Guard.
Since the birth of our nation, American soldiers have always committed to a professional ethic of values, possess unquestionable character, and are highly competent. Embodiment of these qualities. Members of the drill team are from all corners of the United States with a wide range of specialties that have perfected their mission and are here to share with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Army Drill! American soldiers have served and sacrificed in the Army to preserve our way of life, our values, and our future. The Army's trusted professionals have, are, and will always be prepared to defend the Constitution of the United States and answer America's call whenever and wherever we need. Today, the drill team is commanded by Sergeant First Class Ivan Valdez from Los Angeles, California. the louder you cheer, the faster they'll go. The drill team represents today's soldiers as well as yesterday's heroes who proudly fought in the Revolutionary War and continue to serve in the mountains of Afghanistan, throughout the Middle East, Europe, and Korea. Today, the Army has more than 130,000 soldiers forward deployed in over 145 countries around the world. The Army is manned, equipped, and trained to execute any range of missions. This is done with the same trust, precision, discipline, and professionalism that the drill team displays with each officer in coordinated movement. For maneuver of all, the soldiers will continue to march as members from the front rank toss a rifle into the air over the formation to be caught by the soldier in the rear rank. This again is an exercise in trust, as each member must put their safety in the hands of their brothers in arms. This is United States Army Drill Team's signature maneuver since 1958, the front rear overhead rifle toss. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the ambassador to today's Army, yesterday's hero, and the United States Army Drill Team.
Let's take another big applause for the U.S. Army Drill Team. Now folks, today's run would not be possible without the support of our local community. So we want to give a special thank you first to Omni Financial and Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, the Fort Lee, Virginia Alumni Chapter, for sponsoring some commemorative dog tags that have been given to our Gold Star families. Now DFMWR invites you to stop by their table today. That's the blue tents back there near the Lee and Mahone corner, to buy your own dog tags from today's event. Run for the Fallen is also proudly sponsored by Boingo, First Command, Fort Lee Family Housing, and APs. Please stop by their tables to thank them for their support. Our Run for the Fallen is a very special event to us, honoring our fallen heroes, and there are many survivors here with us today to carry on their memories. We will be sharing our photos from this event on our Facebook page at Army Fort Lee, and we invite you to share your own photos and memories there and on any other social media with the hashtag #WhoIamRunningFor. We will never forget the sacrifices you have made, and through events like this, we continue to remind our fellow Americans everywhere of the high price that has been willingly and selflessly paid for our freedom. It is now my honor to introduce the Commanding General of the Combined Armed Support Command and Fort Lee, Major General Rodney Fogg.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction, and really as I look around this stadium at all the soldiers and how we're honoring those fallen and their family, it is a pleasure and honor to be here, and I just want to say again, the national anthem was outstanding. She did a great job. When this stopped working, she just belted it out louder, and that was outstanding. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for being here today. Our 9th annual Run for the Fallen. Again, it's an honor to participate and to remember and say thanks to our fallen and their families. First run that we had here was in 2010. And it has grown over the last 9 years, and the growth of this represents our deep commitment for remembering and honoring our fallen soldiers and their families. I'd like to thank all those that helped put this together. So a special thanks to the Fort Lee MWR Survivor Outreach Services. They have been organizing this event for years, and specifically I'd like to thank Mrs. Angela Bellamy. Mrs. Bellamy, where are you at? I know she doesn't want to be recognized. There she is behind me, hiding. And Mrs. Christine Murphy. And Mrs. Murphy, are you here? Right there you are. It's right where you ought to be. Thank you. And Mrs. Bellamy asked me to give a special thanks. Of course, we thank all of our soldiers for being here today and for what everybody behind the scenes has contributed. But I understand that there one company in particular helped out, Delta Company. Is there a Delta Company ordinance school? So thank you. She said y'all did outstanding work, and you were kind of the focal point in helping make this happen. And so thank you, Delta Company. And really, thanks for the tremendous work that all this takes, not just this year, but every single year that we've had it for 9 straight years. This day, this event is always important. It becomes even more in focus. So it becomes even more in focus if we think about our recent events and the mourning of our own Colonel Greg Townsend, the 23rd Brigade Commander. So we lost Greg on the 22nd of April. He was an incredible leader, friend, husband, brother, son, and father. He left behind a wife and 4 kids. We honor him today, and we honor all of you that have lost someone. We share this event and today with our honored guests and their families for the soldier they lost while they were serving others in our country. Whether you participate today in the 1 mile or the 5 mile event, walking or running, we dedicate all our thoughts to those who have went on and their families that are still here today and always. So thank you very much. All right, let me have the honor of introducing our speaker. And so with that, distinct pleasure to introduce, and got to talk to him a little bit, Captain Christopher Lancia. Serves right now in the Officer's Basic Leader course as an instructor at ALU. He entered the Army in 1992 as a UH-60 Black Hawk repairer. In 2010, he went to OCS and commissioned as a Transportation Corps officer. Okay, there you go. One hua. Captain Lucia has gone on to serve in multiple leadership and staff assignments to include the 3rd Infantry Division, the 7th Trans Brigade, and the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. 11 deployments: Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait, and Turkey. And recently selected in the 2019 Red, White, and Blue National Eagle Leader Fellow for all that he does for our soldiers and within the community. 150 races, rucking and running, that he has done carrying the American flag, and worked extensively with service members, veterans, and their families, connecting communities to soldiers and to the fallen and their families. So ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce Captain Christopher Lucia. Thank you. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Major General and Mrs. Fogg, Brigadier General Hoyle and Dr. Demetrius, Brigadier General McBride, Colonel and Mrs. Helwig, Colonel Martin, Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Burton, Command Sergeant Major D'Souza, Command Sergeant Major Scarborough, Command Sergeant Major Vidal, Gold Star families, friends of the fallen, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Before I get into my remarks, I'd like to take a moment to recognize those among us who have lost a loved one in service. We are humbled by your sacrifice, and we thank you for your acts of strength and courage during a time shown the most difficult time a family can imagine. Thank you for helping us ensure the sacrifice of your loved one is never forgotten. Sometimes life puts us right where we're supposed to be. 3 weeks ago, I participated in a service event at an elementary school in Richmond that was done in honor of Captain Andrew Ross. Captain Ross gave his life in Afghanistan in November. So his family is here with us today, and I'm very proud that we're able to honor him twice in such a short period. President Ronald Reagan once stated, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction." We did not pass it to our children in our bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same. Or one day, we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where men were free. We're here today to honor and remember those who gave their lives in service to our nation. They were mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, brothers, sisters. They left behind holes in their families that can and will never be filled. And medals and accolades can't replace flesh and blood. They were mourned, and they remain missed, but they're never forgotten. We've been at war for 18 years. There are soldiers raising their right hand this very moment who have never known our nation in a time of peace. The sad reality is that some of those men and women will one day be on the posters like the ones we see here today. I recently watched the latest Avengers movie. You may wonder why I'd bring up a movie about comic books when we're here to remember real-life heroes. It's because there's a scene in the movie that drove home the power of loss in service to something greater than yourself. One character is sitting on the porch with the daughter of a fallen friend, and he asks her what she'd like for fruit. "Cheeseburgers," she says. Here's some of you saying it. He then asks her if she knows that her father also loved cheeseburgers. And then he promised to give her all the cheeseburgers she could ever want. That's part of what we gain when we raise our right hand and take an oath to serve our country. A family of brothers and sisters who will be there for those we may leave behind with no questions asked. Sometimes it's a ride, sometimes it's a walk or a run like today, sometimes it's a phone call, and yes, sometimes it's cheeseburgers. The families and friends of the fallen are members of a club that no one wants to join. While we and our families understand the risks we take when we join the service, there's no way to prepare for a knock on the door by a casualty notification team. The reality of the danger we face as members of the profession of arms was driven home for me when we lost an aircraft off the coast of Cyprus on 15 August 1995. I knew all 4 crew members. They all perished in the crash. Since then, I've lost more friends in the service of our nation than I usually care to think about. But those of you who share that burden understand that we see their faces clearly in our minds every day. One that sticks out more than most for me was my friend, Staff Sergeant Johnny Vell Mason. Johnny was an explosive ordnance disposal technician who died on 19 December 2005 in Iraq. Johnny and I spent countless flight hours together in the back of a Black Hawk helicopter, each of us with a machine gun and a responsibility to protect our crew from harm. We trusted each other implicitly to protect our six. I was responsible to help train Johnny as he progressed as a crew chief. And no matter how hard we pushed him, that gentle Texan would flash his goofy smile and double his efforts, and he never quit. His dedication and commitment needs no other explanation than the words, he was an EOD technician. Those of you in the crowd today who know what that means knows that that is not an easy title to earn. On the day he died, Johnny's team was disarming an improvised explosive device when their scan identified a second one near their vehicle. Johnny sprung into action. He moved his team out of the danger zone and moved himself into it. As he attempted to save the device, Johnny was killed when it detonated next to him. Through his sacrifice, he was credited with saving the lives of 4 other soldiers that day. Johnny died a hero. There's no doubt about that. I chronicle Johnny today because his story is indicative of the courage, dedication, and commitment shown by all of our fallen. Their sacrifice is something we must never forget. It is something we must celebrate as they mark the best of our nation. General George Patton once said, "It's foolish to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived." For most of us here today, our remembrance is about the men and women who served alongside us. Their sacrifice allows them to live on in our hearts forever, as guardians of the ideals of our nation, as heroes. But remembrance is not about the words we say, it's about the things we do. We remember through our actions that demonstrate each day we honor their memory and vow to carry on a values-based existence that drives home the key components that are going to be familiar to all of you here today. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. We must remember that we are here today because so many are not, having given their lives to ensure that we could live ours, to ensure our freedom, to ensure that liberty continues to ring true across this great land. But today we have an opportunity, the chance to connect with those who have come here to celebrate the lives of the fallen. There are Gold and Blue Star families in attendance. I encourage you, engage them, get to know about their loved ones. Talk about their favorite food. One of Johnny's favorite foods was pulled pork sandwiches. Talk about their hobbies. Johnny liked to work on electronics and volunteer with his local police department. Talk about how they were known. Johnny was known as a gregarious prankster, so much so that his team's call sign in Iraq was Jokers. Carry that knowledge with you over these miles today, and then daily in remembrance of their sacrifice. Help keep their memory alive. In doing so, you will ensure that they are never truly gone. And maybe this afternoon or another day soon, you can meet up again, smile, and laugh together as you remember the fallen over a cheeseburger. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak today. I'm honored and humbled to have been asked to do this. I also would like to thank all of you for coming here today just to share. It's going to be an incredibly powerful experience with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Major General Fogg and Captain Lancia, for your remarks and inspiration. Captain Lancia, before you sit down, our Garrison Commander, Colonel Holly Martin, would like to present you with a special gift on behalf of Fort Lee. Thanks for sharing your story with us today. Sorry, folks. Double duty as PAO. I've got to take the pictures. This time, the band will play the Armed Forces Medley. Please stand when you hear your services song. The band will take the stage and play the Armed Forces Medley. That's you guys over there near the stage. Looks like we have a consultation on the field. Okay, now at this time, the band will play the Armed Forces Medley. Please still stand when you hear your services song. While we're waiting for the band to take the stage, just a reminder that there are those special dog tags that have been provided to our Gold Star families today. Those are also available for anybody here for a nominal fee over at the FMWR tents. Again, those are the blue tents closest to the Lee Avenue and the Home Avenue corners. last-minute scheduling glitch today, but we thank you for your spirit and your voices. Give yourselves a round of applause. I hope everybody's charged up, but before we officially begin this run, I'd like to take just one moment to review procedures for today's event. You can run or walk on the track here at Williams Stadium, or take one of the two routes shown on your map, starting at the corner of Mahone Avenue and Lee Avenue, just outside the stadium. From there, you can take either the red 1-mile route or the blue 5K route. If the total miles you complete today differ from what you put on your registration form, please visit the registration table after the run to update your total, as our total miles are forwarded to the national level and we want to be as accurate as possible. Because of our large numbers today, after an initial lap around the track by our survivors, our military units will start the run, followed by our wheelchair group, then fast runners, slower runners, and walkers. Please note that units may detour on the route to return to their barracks, so please follow the designated route, not the units, unless you have a real hankering for barracks life. Please note that the soldiers are posted at every main intersection and at a medical tent on the 5K route. Should you need medical assistance during the run, any of them can contact us to get you some help. For those who didn't bring their own water, there are also 3 rehydration stations along the route. One at the Regimental Club, one at the Housing Welcome Center, and another along Battle Drive. At this time, I would like to introduce the Virginia Patriot Guard. The Patriot Guard riders are all volunteer motorcyclists from Richmond and the surrounding areas who dedicate their time to stand tall and proud in honor of our service members. Their mission is to attend the funeral services of fallen American heroes as invited guests of the family. If needed, they also shield the mourning family from unwelcome interruptions. They are joined today by American Legion Riders, Chapter 186, the Military Veterans Motorcycle Club, and Special Forces Motorcycle Club. All of the motorcycle groups here today participate in military deployment and homecoming ceremonies for every branch of the military, letting our service members and families know they are appreciated beyond measure. At this time, I would like to ask the Patriot Guard to prepare to take the track with our Fort Lee survivors. As our survivors come out of the stands, please give them respect as they each speak the name of their loved one. Once every name has been spoken, the Patriot Guard will lead our survivors around the track for the first lap. Please keep the track clear during this time, and feel free to applaud as the survivors come by and let them know we stand with them.
You gonna carry your bag? Yes. After you say your name.
PFC Stuart Franklin Health Marines.
Sergeant Lawrence G. Sprader, Jr. Specialist Louis Armstead.
Staff Sergeant Danny Simmons, Jr.
Staff Sergeant Michael D. Moody, Jr., Army.
Staff Sergeant Sabrina K. Martinez.
Corporal Raymond Matthew Henry, United States Marine Corps. Petty Chief Officer Gary Leo Ream, Jr., Navy.
Master Sergeant Joe Dwayne Matthews, Army.
Sergeant First Class Art Water Dog. Ho!
My brother, Staff Sergeant Leroy Alexander, Special Forces, 7th Group Green Beret. Huh?
My husband, Petty Officer
Second Class Daniel Rex Biddle, United States Navy.
Jacob P. Smith, First World War.
My brother, PFC Michael A. Smith Jr., U.S. Army Quartermaster, Fueler.
My son, Demond Anton Walker, Chief Petty Officer, Navy.
Specialist Raymond J. Faustich Jr., Army.
Sergeant Stephen Nathaniel Kistner.
Airman First Class John Gaines, U.S. Air Force.
Sergeant Aaron Xavier Whitman, Infantry, U.S. Army.
Specialist Michael Wayne Pyron.
Lance Corporal Chance Phelps, Marine Corps.
My dad's Sergeant First Class Brian Sullivan.
Captain Andrew Ross, U.S. Army.
My father, Specialist Joseph Lister, U.S. Army.
Captain Jesse Aaron Osbat, United States Army.
My son, Robert Saunders Gooch III, U.S. Army.
My son, Corporal Aaron Gautier, U.S. Army Infantry.
My son, Specialist Richard McNulty III, and his battle, Sergeant Brian Walker.
My son, Sergeant John Carl Osmowski, 82nd Airborne, U.S. Army.
Staff Sergeant Christopher Cabacoy.
Yeah, it does. Would you like this?
Yeah. Well, wait from down.
Jeremy, Anthony, come here.
Still a good city, man. I've seen it a couple of years at least.
Right.
I always see it on culinary.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, this is good. That works.
Set that too loud.
Okay, here, let's try it.
Hold my hand. It's been a minute. You all right? I'm about to. Y'all welcome.
Oh, Bubba.
I used to.
Keep that same energy.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm recording.
Remember JFK. He tried to lead the way. He got shot one day. In the early morning. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright, These are the weapons that I like to
doing, man?
Oh, shit. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What you trying to get out there? Yo, whoa, whoa,
All right, here we go, girls.
Come on. Now run and catch up.
Run yet?
What's up, man? What's up? What's up? Oh, shit. What's up, boy?
You know what?
See, I wanted Kristen to have a girl because we found out she was pregnant.
Fuck, it's so fast. Hey, you'll catch up. Yeah, get the good face going.
Yeah, you want to go? You know you like that.
Yeah, like that.
I'm like, you're gone anyway.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, you better give him my publicist. You just can't be taking photos.
Wait, Addie, Ben.
How are you?
How you doing? Oh, what's up, bro? You know me, I'm paparazzi, you know.
I see that, man.
Sweet.
Catch your run.
When y'all in right here, y'all.
I think here also.
They
It's
come-
just a short circle. Alright, man, it's done.
You know I do what I do, bro. You know I'm always on it, bro. One way or another, I'm on it. Good to see you. Still over there with them crazy?
Yeah, I'm still over there.
all these people.
So I think he's doing a full 5K. He kept saying at the
You gotta run it. Go around. Good job, good job.
Let's stop it right there. Let's go. Let's go. Finish strong.
You show you how to use it?
How you doing? I just saw you yesterday.
Yes, sir. Everybody.